G'day all, welcome back to the channel. On this episode we're going to get obviously back into the VL as we edge closer to getting this thing finished up. So last episode we stripped the bonnet, so we're back on that today. We're going to get some epoxy primer on it, get it sealed up before we can start repairing it. I'm going to put 2 coats of epoxy on that. The epoxy I'm using is an epoxy from Hammer Coating, so TDS sheet says 2 coats, so always remember to follow your TDS sheets if you're having a crack at home. Whenever you buy any paint materials, always ask for a TDS because they are crucial to making your paint last and not fall off. So you don't. Last thing you want is to be wasting money, and in 6 months or 12 months down the track, all the money you've invested in paint and doing all this work, you go to wash your pride and joy, and you're blowing all the fucking paint off it. So follow the TDS sheets. Anyway, if you're new here and you haven't seen anything on this car, go back and check those out. I've basically got a whole bunch of videos on this car from the beginning to where it's at now. The car is basically all painted apart from the bonnet that we're going to get stuck into and all the bumpers and moulds, but the moulds and everything, I've already prepped those. They're ready to paint. So the plan today, I've got the bonnet sitting over there. I'm going to get some epoxy on those while that's drying, because it's about a 6-hour window that you've got to let it dry at 25 degrees before you can do anything. I'll probably jump onto the actual car. I want to clean all the dust off it, and I'll probably put all the new bolts in the guards and things like that just to get the engine bay finished off a little bit. So for now we're going to get in the bonnet and then we'll move on to what we're doing next. Alright, she looks magic when she's not covered in dust. I've given it a bit of a quick tidy up already. So so the bonnet, I've gone ahead and epoxied it, dragged it back in here. So obviously, as I said before, I've put 2 coats on it. That's what the TDS sheet tells you to do. And the thing I like about this epoxy, it stays with that light sheen on it. So when you get in the right light, you can see where you need to repair. So that's something that I do like about it. So that's done. We'll get back over here onto the engine bay and start putting all these new bolts and stuff in. Alright, so all the bolts are in. Looks much better. Much better than having bolts with all chip paint and stuff on them. And I wasn't going to, paint strip bolts and repaint them when they were in there and things like that. So, new bolt kit. Mickey Mouse. Alright, so now with that done, I'm going to get all the bumper moulds, door moulds, underside of the bonnet all in the booth. And I'm going to get them sprayed, so that's another job done. So we can keep cracking on this VL. So let's get it all in the booth and get it cracking and get it painted. Alrighty, so all the moulds are done. They're all out of the booth. It's actually a couple of days later. So I've taken all of them out of the booth. The bonnet has been repaired, primed. I've actually prepped that. It's in the booth as we speak, ready to get painted. So the plan is now to get the top of the bonnet painted, get that finished up. So then I can go ahead, put the bonnet back on the car, get it where it needs to be, adjust the guards, button them up for the last time so it's done. Once that's done, then we'll be able to start gluing all the side mouldings on the doors and get that side of it wrapped up. Then that only leaves us with the actual front and rear bars. So the mouldings are all painted. It's just the three main sections for the front and rear bar. In between videos, this car has actually been sold, so there's a new owner, and he's been good enough to supply me with 2 new bar ends for the car. Not only saves me the hassle and trouble of repairing old ones, but makes for a better finished product, and for the price of them, I don't think you can go wrong. Much easier to spend the $100, put new ends on it, than the whole front bar is brand new. So the rear bar is prepped, it's ready to go. So once this bonnet's done and all that's back on the car, I'll get both bars in, nail both of them, and this car can go back together and have its final polish, and it can go home. So anyway, let's get in and get this bonnet knocked over so we can keep kicking along with it. Alright, so the bonnet's all done, finished up, time to go home, have a feed and get ready to do it all again tomorrow. So, yeah, thanks to everyone that's jumped on and subscribed recently. I haven't thanked for a long time, but thanks to everyone that's jumped on board, and thanks to everyone that continues to watch and support the channel and all that good stuff. So it is appreciated. There is going to be some big changes coming in the next few months, so priority at the moment is to get this VL finished, because there is some big changes coming, but I'm going to save that for future videos. I don't want to go spoiling stuff now, but there's basically, you know, potential for videos to come out a lot more frequent. So anyway, the bonnet's done. That only leaves us with the bars. I'm pretty keen to get this car done, so I would expect within the next 2 weeks I'll have another video of the bars getting done, and basically then it's all polishing and reassembling and all the fun stuff, and we can actually start to see this car fully come together and it can go home. So until the next one, guys, cheers.